crazy. Ah! Hey, what's that? Happy Friday, y'all.
Friday Love Fest.
Oh, quick shout out to my friend Ashley. Today's her birthday.
Hey Ashley, happy birthday.
Hey girl, Ashley is hot too.
We gotta keep track of this so that we don't lose that happy birthday shout out.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a wild Friday.
Yeah.
And we're ready to talk about some things.
Yeah. So last Friday in June.
It is.
So also let us know what you guys want to talk about next month.
Yeah, we love a good theme.
So yeah, comment, share, like all those things. So because it's the last Friday in June, we're finishing up talking about gender.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're going to talk about gender in sex and dating. Right, I said the word. And so Rachel and I, in deciding to talk about gender, we talked a little bit about this already. So we were talking about how one of the ways that gender plays a role, an unhealthy role in sex and dating is, like we have these expectations about who pays for a date, who asks you on a date, who initiates sex, who, has to be the one on the receiving end of like the invitation to have sex. And we even talked a little bit about like the kind of the role you play where it's like,
like girls are supposed to be coy, right, and boys are supposed to be assertive,
play hard to get, and like those kind of games and all of those things that we buy into when it comes to gender. And of course, you already know that we
don't really subscribe
to any of that.
Not to mention I date women, and so no gender there.
But that's also why this conversation is important, because
there are gender roles within same-sex relationships.
Exactly, and they're not healthy in any relationship. I would say rigidly following them is not healthy. There are times that they can be beneficial, but
I also think that part of it is less, and we've talked about this in the previous videos, it's less about your gender and it's more about your character, personality, and contribution, right? Like, if it makes sense for you to contribute in a masculine way in any particular moment, then that's,
or if that's just
regardless of your gender,
right,
then that makes sense.
Right. If that's what you're comfortable with, if that's your, what makes you an individual, then that's what you should do.
It also becomes a problem as you deepen relationships, and let's say as you get to know each other better, and even including sexually, you start to want more things from your partner, or different things from your partner, and asking for those things becomes difficult if they are rigid to the gender role, and then they're like, well, I can't do that because I'm the more feminine one, or I'm, that's not feminine of me, or it's too masculine to do, or whatever.
Right.
And then we have a problem because now you're saying you can't like bend and adapt and be flexible to my wants and needs, or vice versa, if you're not willing to kind of come out of that very traditional gender role.
And I would even say, to piggyback off what you just said, if you do subscribe very rigidly to gender roles, then you are denying your wants and needs, and you're maybe not even aware, or you know what I mean, like you're not even allowing yourself, we're not allowing each other to be in touch with what our wants and needs are, because you're supposed to want this, you're supposed to need this, you're supposed to desire this, you're supposed to have this level of desire, and
based on very like social image standards, right? But you have both masculine and feminine energy. We all do. And to that point, like part of you is going to be hungry if you never let it breathe and live. And I wonder,
I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I wonder how that manifests when we deny ourselves, like, because it doesn't matter the reason why you're denying yourself, but if you are denying, even just exploring your body and exploring who you are, even in dating, just exploring different experiences for yourself, I wonder how that manifests in our lives in unhealthy ways, because we're so busy trying to fit what people are expecting of us and do what we're supposed to do versus what feels natural.
And that's a big conversation that actually I've been having recently in the world of like same-sex couples, at least women, is this mask of center versus femme, and if you are a mask of center individual, would you date a mask of center individual? Is it weird? Is it appropriate? Is it inappropriate? And so that's a big conversation in the queer space that breaks kind of the molds of traditional, even queer relationships, right? Like, well, there's supposed to be a femme and a mask of center, and then that's supposed to work because tradition, right? Because heteronormative America, right? And the conversation is, well, I might be mask of center and be attracted to somebody mask of center, and that could work.
You know, shout out to Z. Hey, girl.
Hey, Z.
She recently posted about women and men and women proposing to men, and the way that we're socialized to believe that that makes a woman desperate. Like, if you're proposing to a man, patriarchy has socialized us to, all women and men together, to accept that means you're a little desperate. Like, if he really wants to marry you,
and what a jerk,
you
emasculated him.
You emasculated him because you wanted to marry him.
Right? How dare you?
Because you wanted to marry him, he is now emasculated.
You like stole his thunder.
Saying it out loud really makes it sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, because you wanted to marry and spend your life because you were in love with this person, whatever your reasons, now he is emasculated, and you are. And
because it was your idea, you're desperate.
Right. Right.
Another great example.
Another really good example. And I mean, you should do what you feel comfortable doing, but more importantly, I think, especially with that example, is as a society, we have to make room for people to do what they feel comfortable doing.
Yes.
So if you feel so moved to do that, you know, if you are masculine of center and you feel attracted to another person who is masculine of center,
shoot your shot.
As a society should just make space for that.
Yes.
There shouldn't be anyone batting an eye.
You shouldn't have to hesitate to shoot your shot. If you think that you have an interest in that person, then you should go for it.
Yeah. So I think one of the things I want to make sure is clear from today is that we, as much as we need to like examine ourselves individually and explore, you know, who we are and how we want to express and how we want to date, and you know, if you want to initiate sex or not, I think also what's equally important, maybe even more important, I dare say maybe more important, is making space for other people to do that. Because if 100%. You're not willing to be curious about yourself and explore that, and for all our videos, if you're not willing to challenge gender roles in your life, hey, that's your journey. But I think it's super important that you not judge other people and like give them their space so that they can.
And I mean, quite honestly, explore. in the world of our factors and our life coaching philosophies over here, if you aren't willing, it says something about you and your insecurity around your expression and gender role and the way you show up in the world. And if you're not super critical of that, then you're probably in a really peaceful, open-minded space, with yourself. So
yeah, that's true.
It's a good mirror. If you have a lot of discomfort with that, you might want to look at how you fit in these traditional roles and how maybe they actually aren't as comfortable for you as you've convinced yourself.
Yeah. Go always.
Yeah,
go inward.
Always
go
start
inward.
there.
Why are you uncomfortable? Go inward.
It's all H2O
You
anyway.
know, for the whole month. If you're uncomfortable, it's pride. Pride is almost ending. If you're uncomfortable with anything that has to do with pride, if you're uncomfortable with anything that has to do with gender roles, go inward.
Check yourself.
Yeah, literally. That's what that means.
Literally.
Check you first.
Yes.
Check you.
Check you.
Go get checked out.
Yeah.
By you.
PSA. We love y'all.
Okay, we love y'all.
Friday Love Fest.
Yes.
Check us out.
Okay, bye.